Hello and welcome to the Aaron Roussos podcast. Today, I just wanted to talk to you just briefly about the world. It's changing, right? It's ever evolving and moving in different directions. And obviously some of the things, one thing that I've noticed just recently is obviously the departure of Karl Stefanovic from the morning show today on Channel 9. And, I was always, when it happened, I was offline, so I didn't really know for days. But then when I found out, I was like, oh, wow. I've met Karl before. He has my phone number. And the way we met was back in 2023. We had the restaurant in Noosa, and he rang me up one Friday afternoon. He goes, "Aaron, how are you, mate? It's Karl Stefanovic." And I went, "Yeah." And I was sort of trying to listen, but his voice sounded so like him. I was like, "Yeah, it should. Yeah, it's Karl Stefanovic." And we obviously had the restaurant was fully booked. We didn't have a big restaurant anyway, but anyway, Carlos, I was booked out. He rang. I said, "Yeah, sure, buddy." And quickly ran to move the whole restaurant, change it all around to make him have the best table in the front. He came with his wife, daughter, Harper, and mother-in-law. And they sat out the front and had a good feed, and we got talking about all sorts of stuff. And it was a little bit like, what he's doing now. It wasn't the things that we were talking about weren't, weren't mainstream news. We were talking about spirituality and the healing stuff and work and that and bits and pieces that I've done. Now, he's very down to earth. Karl Stefanovic is extremely down to earth, and the reason why I mentioned that is obviously when I was I met him in the restaurant. We're a very small restaurant. Everyone, pretty much people leave one week and book for the next week. I know all the regulars and bits and pieces, and it's a little touristy town sometimes. And the tourists that come up and just also you not use us, but drop in on a regular basis. You got your people that are up at Christmas, your people up at Easter, school holidays, all the rest of it. Karl was fantastic. He was at the door, greeting people, having fun, making jokes, all the rest of it. And but I found him to be a very genuine. Like, he came in, found me, shook my hand, introduced myself, blah blah blah, got a little bit of a rundown on what's happening there, then sat down to have their dining experience, and I came in and out of their experience. So very genuine, very honest, very upfront, and if you he has a curious mind, I guess, is one thing that you could say. And when this happened, because I guess at the end of the day, I've got 150 podcasts, plus there's more. There's another 30 that I haven't posted or put on there yet. And they're all about mainstream media being corrupted. Having their own agenda, not pushing certain things. It's like a self-investment in other things they're involved in and bits and pieces and that. And I had lots of people from Channel 9, not just Karl, some other people that used to come regularly in the restaurant, and then they'd send other people, and I had lots of different celebrities and people that are in the mainstream frequenting this restaurant quite regularly. They knew that I was a bit alternate, and happy to discuss it, but like doctors, not willing to put their neck on the line, which is quite common for people that are, you don't want your livelihood taken away, even if your livelihood is fake. You would still like your fake $200,000 a week job, $200,000 a year job plus. Having that all taken away, if you're a doctor, what do? You go back onto minimum wage. It does scare lots of doctors, and I have spoken to many a doctor, and they're just not willing to step outside of that framework or the AMA or any governing body because they're scared. They're fucking scared shitless. And it's all about them. You know what I mean? None of them can turn around and say, like I do, I don't give a fuck how much I lose, how much I suffer. The truth is more important, and humanity is, and everyone's health and what is best for everyone is way more important than these couple of bullies that are fucking bullying and manipulating and basically hoarding everything for themselves. So we have a certain time in history where people are waking up to the mainstream media. Now, 8 years ago when I first did this and I went to the media, and they all ignored me, ghosted me, got rid of my stuff, things disappeared, bits and pieces, and I was like, what's going on? I had no idea. If I went then and said the mainstream media is corrupted, is something going on, they're serving a propaganda agenda, everyone just look at me crazy, right? Now, 8 years later, fucking every fourth person will agree with you, and they'll have their piece to say as well. So we're in history right now. Karl Stefanovic, and look, I've followed only because I know Karl, and I like the guy. And I've seen what mainstream does to other people that don't conform anymore or that leave them. So I'm watching Karl, and like yesterday they put, this is the mainstream media. They put a thing on going, we've done the sums, and Karl has made $412. And he left a job that was a guaranteed $2 million on TV per annum to make $400 a month on YouTube, starting his own media. Now, obviously, Karl has been very open about this whole thing, and he said, look, I know you have to start somewhere, build it, and he's obviously knows that content is king, and what he's chasing is quality content from all different perspectives. And he's Sweden, right? He's neutral. He's just getting it out there. He's basically becoming a humanitarian. He's going, all right, what's best for everyone? Let's open it all up, and it's completely different to anything else in the last 100 years that we've ever been through. Now, I think Kyle Sandilands is separating. Now, they couldn't have done that if they didn't have the mainstream knowledge, experience, and then obviously you knowing who they are, the celebrity. They couldn't have done that if they didn't have the mainstream first. Like if you were just going to start Karl Sandilands thing, boom, it's pretty much absolutely impossible. So I guess in some ways they've used that to get this, and then the mainstream's not going to be very helpful for them. They're going to make it as hard as possible. And if you look on what the mainstream is saying about Karl every day, now we've all heard the stories about, certain, elites and bits and pieces and stories from all over the world, and I don't know what's true and what's not. And I guess I've even experienced it myself. right? I've experienced it myself. I had an elite bully tell me you don't know who I am, and the story is fucking 10 times. It's all over my Spotify stuff anyway. But what I'm saying is, like Dave Chappelle, when he went to his people and said, what do you think my fans are going to say when I, when I made $50 million profit, but you're only going to give me $5 million? And they turned around and said, well, by the time you get home, they'll think you're a fucking dried up crack whore or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's how bullyish they are. They're bullying to do things to make it suit them, and everyone else can get fucked. So this has been going on for a long time. Lots of things have been going on, but they're changing in our lifetime, and they're changing now. And these people like Karl Stefanovic. Karl is the start of the demise of mainstream media. In 20 years' time, no one, if mainstream media stays the same, no one will even turn their TV on, because they will be aware, they will be brought up to speed in what mechanics are behind this and what it's doing to biology, physiology, why, how it's hacking you, indoctrinating you, and suiting and dividing. And that's a fact. It's like religion. Religion's on the decline all around the world. There is nowhere where where religion is flourishing. We had lots of influx when you had, what's that big church group that actually went down with Brian Houston or whatever it is? What is it? Whatever it is. Fucking what an absolute cockstick he is. How the fuck do you start a religious organisation with that much corruption, with that much greed, with that much... Oh, mate, he is a fucking pig of a man. And to be doing so in the name of religion. Now, for those of you who don't understand, just say that I was a guy, right? Just humour me for a moment, right? Even though it's true. I was a guy that has a pure, unadulterated connection to source energy, the creator of the universe, and therefore I'm able to know exactly his essence, how he does things, why he does things and everything. And therefore I know that if he's involved in something, based on putting some filters to see if this is what the creator of the universe, this intelligent energy, right? Intelligent, right? Because all religions are talking about a God. Now, I don't give a fuck who you are. They're all the same God. There's only one God, okay? This will be proven one day. It's a fact. You all sort of know it now, but the mainstream is just presenting this picture, and your biology is just going, confusion. But at the end of the day, all religions are the same fucking God. There's only one. And God is a field. He's not an entity. He's not a person. You are an expression of that field. Therefore, you are part of God. We don't know this yet. Anyone that goes through anything, well, actually, you guys are all pretty average as far as understanding or awareness of what is actually going on. You're completely and utterly brainwashed. So if I have connection to this source, then I know exactly why all religions, even the ones that take all your money and all that sort of stuff, are able to do what they do. And it's because if you are the creator of these people, or they are an expression of you, then you will never, ever tell them what to do. You don't control your creation. You love your creation. We have a bias in this world, which is love. So that's the highest thing. That's what we're aiming for. That's where we're oscillating. That's where we're going if we're positive, right? If we're in the right direction. There is one God. All religions cannot be punished. It's not karma that punishes them for doing the wrong thing here, right? It's them knowing that the energy that is God, that is the creator of this universe, cannot punish, cannot judge, cannot condemn. It loves its creation. Is all of the stuff that you've been taught is a complete crock of shit. So when Brian Houston goes and does fucking heinous things that you wouldn't even do to people, or his organisation, or fucking and everything, they know they can't be judged in this lifetime here right now, because the energy loves you. You know, even, and I guess the way you I come from a semi-criminal family. Now, I could be chased by the police all through my neighbourhood, fly over my back fence, go around the back way, jump in my house and just say to my mum, just tell them I was here the whole time. And she will. That's my mum. She loves me, and she'll protect me. She'll do anything, including lying and thingo for me. This is the same thing. The Creator loves you and will protect you. He would never fucking leave you to hang out and dry. Would never. Okay? So when these people are doing something wrong, they know that it's not going to be met in this lifetime. Yes, they're going to have some form of karma, but that's them with themselves. But at the end of the day, they're just fucking rorting you. Okay? Jesus was a man. He wasn't a god. He was a man that walked here just like you and me did. He didn't want to be worshipped. He just wanted to show you what we can do. 2,000 years later, Aaron Roussos is walking around. He's healed himself of an incurable disease, found out a secret discovery that is hidden in plain sight for every human to make their lives so much more better. I mean, better beyond anything that can ever be done by anyone else on this planet. And he's doing that to you. He's giving that to you. He's showing you what you can do. I don't want you to look at me and go, wow, this guy can do all these amazing things and let's worship. No. From one human to another, here's what I've done. Here's what I've seen. It works every time. Now you go and do it. We do not have enough time to work all this stuff out. I haven't done what you've done. I haven't gone to a job every week, had a mortgage, a family, all that shit that takes up so much time. You don't have any time to work this out. I can sit here for the next 6 months and study religion, ancient history, and merge gaps and test things and work it out. I've got nowhere to be, no one to be, and I can do that. If I want to test the waters on something for humanity that has never been experienced before in life and it takes years, I can do that. Because I've chosen from the age of 10 a quest to find out why we're here. I just happened to get sick twice with incurable diseases that no one can help twice that I've fucking resolved. I've found insights to our very own human nature, to how it evolves, how we can change it, how we can manipulate it, and how we can make life better in the future. By also seeing these things, I look backwards and I can see where all the broken systems were established, how they're established, and why they're called a broken system, and why people, human beings like you and me, no matter the government spends billions of dollars and everything on all these things, people can still fall through the cracks. So they haven't designed a system very well at all, and that goes across many fields, okay, not just the medical and science and all that. So we're just always missing something. We're always void of a part of ourselves. A piece of the puzzle is always missing. And we feel that, right? We feel like, fuck, if this is it, pretty average. You know what I mean? If you're thinking, fuck, we can put man on the moon, we can build these buildings, cars, fucking technology, computers, supercomputers, fucking AI, we can do all this shit. But we're all here having a fucking pretty average fucking existence as a human being. and we all seem to be contributing way more than we're getting back from the system, and the system seems to be draining us of money, energy, and life force. So if this was it, right, if you had experienced a life down here and you went, that's it, if you were given an opportunity to come down here again, I don't think you would take it. I honestly, hand on heart, I mean, we're part of a system and reincarnation is part of it, and you're coming down either way, unless you master it, and then you don't have to come down. But I'm saying everyone's coming back, but if you had a choice, you wouldn't come back. The people that are here now, this is from a very spiritual place, which is big boy spirituality stuff that you don't understand. All the people that are here now wanted to be here now. All the souls that are here, even though that subconsciously they don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. We went past a marker in 2012, which means we're the longest living human race to inhabit the earth. Okay? You don't know this. It's cool. It doesn't really matter. It's not, So after that, 2012, so that means that everyone that's down here that's born in the 60s, 70s and 80s, they wanted to be here because they were up there looking, going, fuck, there's an opportunity, there's a chance that we're not going to make it again. 5 times this earth has had humans on it that have either killed themselves, natural disasters, for one reason or another have wiped themselves out. So we're coming up to a point in 2012 we're going to be the longest inhabitants on this earth, and if that's so, then if we get past it, we get a whole lot of human upgrades that get enacted. They're already inside us. It's like a time machine being opened at certain stages throughout the time after that of 2012. So the people that are here right now, we're up there looking at this going, there's a chance that we're not going to make it. I want to be there because I know that I can do my bit to contribute to make sure that we're going to make it past this marker, and that humanity is going to awaken to how magnificent it is. And that's why you're all here. We're in the shift. The shift is like a 36-year wobble of the earth. 18 years into 2012, 18 years out of 2012, culminating in 2030. And it's funny how world events and people 2030 agenda and all this sort of stuff seems to align with the precession of the equinoxes, the stars, astrology, geology. Everything is all sort of connected and controlled. Not controlled, sorry, connected. So we're in a place that we've never been before. We're in an accelerated time of shift. So there's more growth, more understanding, more people today waking up to the fact. And it's true, even over the last 8 years, I've seen it go from about 1% to, I'd say, 25% awake. Okay? Never happened before in history. It didn't happen 100 years ago, 50 years ago. Never happened. We're all just slowly, dysfunctionally growing and progressing along as a humanity, as a race on the planet. We're shown what we're shown. Mainstream media as a propaganda machine only wants to show us what it can show us, so that the majority of our decisions, backed by our repetition through education system, makes us compliant, citizens of this world. It doesn't teach us to be critically thinking mind, go-getters that really want to experience and do some amazing things it makes average people. The whole system just churns out very average, low, docile, conforming sort of good customers. That's what it does. It makes us look externally for everything, whether it be health, finances, money, advice. It's all external. All the answers for us to be free, to break free, to have a better life is all internally. I went to a government course to do an entrepreneurship certificate, and they said at the start of it, if you are a business that is a kinesiologist, we don't support that. Okay? So all littered all throughout my podcast my first ever healing, which was a 20-year condition that was actually trauma, but it was presenting as physical ailments and things that no doctors, specialists, CAT scans, MRIs, fucking doctors, specialists all around the world, no one could fix it. 20 years, and it was fixed in half an hour with a kinesiologist. That was 26 years ago. Fast forward 26 years, I'm going to a government course. First day, comes up on the board, if you're a kinesiologist, we're not doing this. You can't do it. Kinesiology is the only thing that got rid of my traumas and healed me of something and profoundly changed my life, my quality of life, everything. I couldn't have a license. It was fucked beforehand. But now kinesiology is not accepted by the government as far as doing this course to better the world. Are we getting what's best for humans on this earth to make our lives all better? Or are we getting what we're controlled, what is being released to us, so that the majority of us all funnel our money and our resources, our energy through the same way? That was heartbreaking when I saw that sign. I'll be honest with you, I fucking didn't go back to that course. I've done it before anyway. I've got a certificate to say I've done that course before. I was just doing it because I thought it'd be better to be doing this course with people rather than online or separate or whatever, and I could use it as networking, and I might meet some other people that can sort of enhance or partner with my business. And I did meet some people in the first couple of days. But I decided if they're not going to accept something that was the greatest thing that ever changed my life, I don't want to be part of it. Now, if that was you or anyone else, you would say, that's completely wrong. I don't agree with it, but I've got no brain of my own and I'm too scared, so I'm just going to go to class. You would all, every single person besides myself, would, even though if they saw that, they knew something was wrong, they would just keep doing it. And that's why we're in the way we are. That's why there's a cost of living crisis. That's why there's a housing crisis. That's why, for convenience, we have big multinational companies, small business and families are suffering. We are the way we are because of us lining up for convenience, lining up for the wrong thing. I've told many people throughout my career, bad behaviour carries on if it's allowed to. So because the government is allowed to say, the government allows you to be a kinesiologist and to have a shop down here and everything, but they don't make it fucking easy for you. They don't make you part of the Medicare system. They're doing everything possible to keep you limited and in such a small way as to not wake everybody up. Because if that kinesiologist helps people with nothing, no one else could be helped, then to me, that's a service of humanity. And if the government's stopping a service of humanity, but the way they do it is like democracy, right? Democracy's not a fucking thing. We're fucking controlled lab rats, right? But they call it democracy. They say, I'll give you a couple of fucking decisions and whatever will make it. Look, I worked for fucking big companies and they all do it, man. They all dress everything up and go, oh, we've got to have a corporate social responsibility section now because, we're the biggest wasteful fucking corporate fucking dogs, but we've got to be made to be seen, the perception that we're doing the right thing. And that's the way the world works. That's the way, big companies work. They just go, well, if the perception is that we're doing the right thing, then it's not going to hurt us too much. But most of the companies that I was working for, they had you addicted to their product anyway. So they didn't really care about that. It was just to tick a box. It was just to make just in case there was a small amount, a percentage of people that are awakened certain amount to a certain level that would see this as a bad thing, well, this thing just sort of takes care of those people. And so we have a life where, all right, I'll give you same example. Aaron Roussos comes up with a 14-day protocol that heals not only his chronic anxiety, but it does work for everyone. I go to the Prime Minister amongst 700 other correspondences, and he goes, "Thank you for your work with working with people with chronic anxiety. We really think we help you, and we'd love you to work with these people in primary health networks and data." Now, they didn't say, "Aaron, you're wrong, we're squashing you," or whatever. They just took all the oxygen away so that I've got nowhere to move. They won't help me. They won't give me doctors. It's holistic. They don't understand some of it. And so this is the way the world works, right? We don't need to tell you we don't agree with you. We don't want you to come through. We don't want you to ruin the companies that, I've invested in media, and my partners that, get $100 billion from the medication that you're saying you can heal in 14 days. There's 300 million people worldwide. This would pretty much wipe out $7 trillion in money across the world that these sick people would be paying out, and therefore they would now turn around and be not relying on the medical and systems, but also now contributing and contributing money to everyone else. So it's a completely different world. So they go, "We're not going to stop you, but we're not going to let you go either." And so the whole world across many different things is like that. And it's because we have money, right? Money and greed. So if you want to, and you can live happily outside of this system. The more I remember at a certain stage when I was still indoctrinated, I was still fear-based, doomsday, I thought the worst of everything. And I'm finding these things out and I'm going, oh no, this just gets worse and worse. There is a way to be sovereign, to break yourself free of this, to be, have one foot in this world and one foot in the real world, which no one knows yet, and to operate and not let anything get to you, to be calm, to, your nervous system comes back down. All these things happen. So we do have a way to, that's why I'm not angry. Anyone else in this planet that has gone through the amount of injustice that I've gone through, not just with governments, board, organisations, family, narcissist, business, all sorts of things, would be one angry motherfucker who would come out swinging, trying to fucking take everyone down because they have just had injustice after injustice after injustice. Why aren't I angry? Because I know that you don't like that energy. It doesn't matter if I'm right. I've had people standing in front of me that are right. They know things. They've got conspiracy theories, but they're jumping up and down. They're fucking carrying on like a pork chop, and I don't like that energy. So I know that it's like that. 2, my nervous system has been repaired. Why do I want to send it back to the fucking ages, the dark ages? I want to maintain my nervous system, my healing, my overall full spectrum my health. I don't want to give it back to them. That's what they want. So I'm not going to play that. I'm going to live in my world. And now what happens is you get to a certain stage and you see this chaotic playing out in front of you, and you just watch and observe it like it's like a third party. It's like a surreal thing happening in front of you. And instead of you taking on all the negativity and it affecting you, you watch it and go, wow, lucky I know better. And so it becomes a bit of a thing that you end up being grateful for, because you see things playing out, and normally that would get you, make you get sucked into that and therefore affect your health or your well-being or your finances or different parts of your life. Now you just watch the chaos in real time and know it's all part of this transition that might take years for us to get through and come out on the other side. There is a massive shift at the moment. You don't know what it's about. You don't know how it works. But whatever that shift is a lot more drawn out. And how would I say it? A lot more... Everything is a lot slower than what you think. You know, when someone's telling you something, it might happen over big periods of time. This shift is happening over 36 years. You can feel it, and the more I talk about it and you understand it, the more you feel and resonate towards it as well. And there's a reason for that. One, you all deep down know that, fuck, life's got to be better than this. Two, things are starting to change that have been the same for a long time. It gives you some hope. So we've cracked it open. 25% of the population is awake and coming along for the ride. It needs to get saturated to a certain point before we can then carry on. Everything you see online, if you went to YouTube, for instance, which is a great reference of generalized everything across the board, and you go and you see remote viewing, alien stuff, people talking about, you know, all these shifts and bits and pieces, all of that is irrelevant to what's actually going on. It's not the full picture, it's not the correct picture, and most of it is lies to get your attention, to get your money for views. No one can remote view. Not even me. Well, I can. And I'm the most advanced spiritual person on the planet that has turned all of the things that you think is woo-woo into practical applications. And I can do things on this planet that no one else can do. And I've proved it, and I give it to you on my website, foodisonaustralia.com, a 14-day protocol that can cure incurable diseases that over 400 million people have. And there's more diseases coming online, other protocols that are coming online that affect 1 billion people on the planet. The way that you can test whether I am telling the truth is you can get someone who's sick to go to my website, do the protocol, and if it doesn't work, right, then I'm full of shit. Until you go through and do it exactly the way I've said it, and it doesn't work, then you have to understand, I might be telling the truth. I might be the saviour, or the information that I've got is the saviour for humanity. We've been going in one direction, getting quite dense and negative, and I think there needs to be a break in the system. I don't think humanity can keep going in that direction without fucking imploding on itself. So until you find out that what I'm doing is total fucking crock of shit, don't say anything. You can't say anything to me. You can't have a go at me. You can't use cognitive dissonance and just dismiss me before even understanding it. You want to understand what I'm doing, understand what I'm doing, learn about it, listen to everything, watch it, thingo. And then if you're sick or you know someone that's sick, go to the thing, do the protocol, and then if it doesn't work, then come after me. Come for me hard, mate. I'm so fucking sure that not only have I got the permanent cure for anxiety, chronic anxiety, I've got all cancers, all stages, which is coming up soon. And then thirdly, I've got a longevity program, which is just a bit of fun, which I wanted to do for myself because I wanted to live a bit longer and I wanted to know the mechanics of what ages us. And being the only person on the earth that knows it, anyone that puts longevity next to their name on LinkedIn, which there is 816 people in my area at the moment or in my country, go and get fucked. You have no idea what you're talking about. You think a fucking bit of cream or a juice cleanse is fucking longevity program, you fucking idiots. What sort of a fucking idiot, right, goes to a job, puts longevity on there, and then it's a chemical-based product or compound or synthetic for a natural human being? What sort of a fucking idiot would do that? A big idiot that's been completely brainwashed, humanly conditioned beyond their own identity, and now they're out in the world and their responses are not their own. That's who's doing that sort of stuff. There's no fucking person in the world. I've studied, I've gone right across the world and looked at every single person, even the people that are making the most money out of the longevity space, doing fucking plunge pools and all this shit. I've just put out a program that says homeostatic alignment. Alignment. Do you think that jumping in a fucking plunge pool and fucking waking all your fucking senses up in an intense way is alignment? Or do you think that's a fucking detrimental part of fucking the whole what you could do to your biology? Common sense. Alignment is gentle. It's natural. It feels good. It pulls you into line. It doesn't fucking shock you. If you have to fucking shock something, it's so intense. That's not alignment. That's trying to fucking scare it into fucking being aligned. It doesn't work. It never has and it never will. That's what we're dealing with, guys. We're dealing with a world that doesn't have the full picture, hasn't got it wrong. We're going through a fucking period of change. Watch this space. And don't even fucking come near me or say anything around me unless you know what you're talking about first, you've studied everything that I've done, and you've fucking tried it for yourself. Otherwise, you can go and get fucked because you're all giving me the same fucking responses. No matter where I'm talking to you from all around the world, they're automatic responses coming from your brainwashed state because you have fucking no idea what's going on in life. Wake the fuck up. And that's where people say, wake up, cunt. Wake up, you motherfucker, you dumb shit. Consciousness has levels. You don't know what you don't know. You could be killing yourself. You could be detrimental to your own fucking existence and you don't even know it because you're not willing to do the work because you've trusted everything externally. So go and get fucked. On a continual basis, I go to people who should be intelligent, more intelligent than me. They have credentials, they have this, but yet they can't see something so simple. That's what you're up against. Anyone can break themselves free from this pack. Anyone can then actually start to work out how to get the best out of health for themselves. It's very simple. Everything is available, everything's free, everything's there for you. I got to where I am without spending $1 on my spiritual development. But I went inwards. I didn't go outwards. And I thought about things critically. I went, well, what is a human being? What is a human being at optimum? Where does it come from? What's the best state? Is it natural? How can you do it? There's no way to get a human into a higher state with anything synthetic or chemical. It's only natural that can get them into higher states. Fact. Do you know that fact? Is it common knowledge? Is it taught in schools? Are you taught to critically think? No. There's a reason why. And you're the ones that are fucking burying me and having a go at me and fucking not believing me without even reading one iota of my fucking work. And that's because the culture has you brainwashed to make comments and put people down that are trying to better themselves. You are the problem. Do your homework. See you later.